Rick's lifelong passion has been exploring one of the most beautiful themes in the Urantia Book, the harmony of truth, beauty, and goodness. We'll discover why these three eternal values aren't simply ideas to admire. They're the qualities that shape character, guide our daily decisions, and prepare us for the endless adventures of eternity. So, Rick, this is what we were just talking about on these foundations and how, as long as we have these foundations, civilization, individuals, everything works within harmony. So tell us a little bit more on what is truth, beauty, and goodness and how it applies to our everyday living.
Well, let me start by giving a little background on truth, beauty, and goodness, Santiago.
Mm-hmm. Please.
Um, it appears that trio appears 84 times in the Urantia book.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled them all out and put them on a website, and I had to do some more study. Where uh, did the authors just pick out these three words and put them together?
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that they have a long history, that
Okay.
the Catholic Church adopted them back in the 15th century. There was a Catholic philosopher named Marsilio Ficino, and
Okay.
he is credited with bringing together those three words and adding
Okay.
them into Catholic theology. Of course, the Greeks studied truth and beauty and goodness, but they never pulled the three together like we have them
A
together.
triad, like you're saying, a triode.
Yeah, yeah. And so after he Ficino put the three together, well, it appeared many times in Catholic theology. Those who read the Catholic doctrines and the literature associated with Catholicism will find truth, beauty, and goodness
Yeah.
quite a bit. But the Urantia Book authors, oh, by the way, their truth, beauty, and goodness have their own name. Philosophers
Mm-hmm.
have described them. They've given them the name transcendental
Okay.
because they transcend all the other virtues and values. And and
Okay.
and the Urantia Book says if you want to know God, this is His nature: truth,
Okay.
beauty, and goodness. Get to know
Yes.
these three, and they redefine truth. They say that truth cannot be defined in words. Truth is a living thing, and it can't be captured in creeds or anything like that. It says that God is truth. And they redefine beauty as
Mm-hmm.
cosmology. And that seems like a strange thing to call beauty cosmology, but more than once they will define uh, beauty as cosmology. And when you think about it, the
Yeah. To explain
cosmos
a little bit more.
is
Okay.
beautiful. I mean,
Yes.
billions and trillions of galaxies. Um,
But we're talking about the cosmic part of, and I was saying about the harmony that it is, and you were saying about the beauty in the cosmos, and I was talking about, the beauty that you find in a song that within time and space, time being the song itself, and space, the notes that are being played, how that harmony, paints and moves you without even noticing it, without really even seeing it, and that
uh,
is, I think, the beauty in the cosmos, that perfectness, of balance and
uh,
evolution, progression. And that's why you
uh,
call the song, it's a progression. So yes, please, can you
yeah.
elaborate on that and explain a little bit more?
Uh, yeah. Harmony is very close to love. And the authors more than once say that the definition of love is truth, beauty, and goodness. They also
Exactly.
say they also say
It's
God is
equals.
love. God is love. God is
Yeah.
truth. God is beauty. God is goodness. He's the standard for these three things. And
Yeah.
he set the universe in motion by saying, Be you perfect. Just 3 words caused the whole cosmos to begin to um, synthesize experience and potential. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where truth, beauty, and goodness come in because they're the standards by which the harmony of the universe comes into being.
Correct.
And it's just, you know, the fuel of the universe is love. That's a
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful thing.
It is. It might sound cliche, but it is. And the way I see it is, truth, beauty, and goodness. Truth plus beauty plus goodness equals love equals God. And that is another tryout where you have that.
Yeah.
God, love, and these three virtues. So how important they are. And come to think of it, anybody that really is looking for these, for truth. When you measure things, within truth, and you set the standards not only for the world around you, but yourself, mainly for yourself. You set your own standards, and by the way that you live your truth, and it's not, it is one's truth, because nowadays we have, different interpretations, or different people want to have their own version of truth. But truth is, like you said, immutable, or not immutable, but it cannot be captured. So it's
Yeah.
always evolving, like you say. It's
Mhm.
it's 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 changing. So be living in truth and beauty. I mean, once we it's not only in art, it's just doing, something artistic. If we live our lives artistically, if we talk artistically, if we communicate with love, with this, beauty behind our communication, then everything that we create and that we interact with is beautiful. And in goodness, when you go in life, and it doesn't have to be, again, the greatest thing, and you have to be, giving out everything in donations and charity, but helping somebody, giving a smile, sometimes just giving a smile
Right.
changes the dynamics and the energy. So, I mean, do these three very simple things that we just mentioned, how you're bringing the love of God into existence.
In several places, the authors mention, they say, um, all truth is relative to God.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that truth in one part of the universe may not be truth in another, but
This
you
is
will
interesting.
always you will always find that God is the standard of truth. And there, it's just a simple concept, but uh, it has to be respected. You know, people are really loose in their definition of what truth is.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you're on a trial, you're at a trial and you're a witness, you say, "I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth."
Yeah.
But what we really should say, "I swear to tell the facts, the whole facts, and nothing but the facts," because truth is relative to each person and relative to God.
This is
So,
good. This is interesting concept about the place of relativity in truth. So yeah, explain a little
yeah,
bit more.
yeah, facts and truth are different things, and
Okay.
and the authors make that abundantly clear. And about goodness, everybody seems to know goodness when they see it. When
Mm-hmm.
they see a parent helping a child, or a young person helping an old person across the street, doing little things that they don't tell other people's about, you know, uh,
Yeah.
giving charities to, and uh, goodness is just something that it doesn't need new definition like beauty and truth.
Yeah.
It's something that we practice, and
Yeah.
something that everybody has available if they want to, and it's a better motivation than pursuing happiness, which I think is a kind of a silly and crazy idea. It would have been much better if Thomas Jefferson had said, you
That's
know,
interesting.
pursuit of wisdom, or pursuit of goodness, and anything but happiness. Happiness, I think, comes as a result of service.
This is interesting. I like this. Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, and definitely, I mean, happiness, and this is something, when you have that as your goal, and life is not only happiness, and this is a fact.
Yeah.
There's trials and tribulations, and you go through difficult times, and that tempers you, and that really molds you, and helps you in this life, which is about experience. So, yes,
Mhm.
if you put the happiness as a goal, it's going to be hard. Happiness is a consequence of things that you do within what we're talking about, being
Mhm.
good and everything that derives into happiness, and you can be in bliss and you can be happy and everything. But I agree with you, the pursuit, because that is the way that is framed, the pursuit of happiness. And here you were talking about the pursuit of goodness, the pursuit of, something that is really attainable. Goodness, something that you can really give, and that molds your character in a positive way. So
Yeah.
interesting pointing that out, Rick. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah. Happiness, at best, is just a momentary feeling of joy. Oh,
Exactly.
and, being a child of God is something that brings the peace that um, that
Well, when you
harmony.
understand something, the peace that brings, right?
Yes, yes, especially things that are related to God and love.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
peace beyond all understanding. That's the phrase I was trying to think of.
Nice, yes, and I like that, and that's one of the things that I really, found a lot of peace in myself. Maybe not happiness, and because there's been a lot of tribulation in
Yeah,
my life, but I did find peace in that tribulation when I understood a little bit more about God, about the nature of God. Not that I switched my God, because that never changed. The God that was always in me, that divine within, has always been in me. It's only evolved in my understanding and my comprehension of my relationship with that fragment, and that fragment that is beyond myself in our brethren. And when we see that, when we recognize it, but that's really important, to really understand that these dynamics, and like I
yeah,
said, it's not substituting and saying, okay, this is a better God, because God is unique to you. He's and I like this, into put into link it up to what you're saying about truth. Really, God, to each one of us, is different. We have a personal relationship with God, and as siblings, siblings have different relationships with their parents. We are the same. We have the same parents, but we have different relationships. So it's really important that we do not, like you said, encompass that in a religion, or encompass that in a creed, and we let it be mutable and evolving into our understanding, as we understand, rather, the nature of God.
yeah, yeah. And probably the greatest satisfaction that anyone can have is to know that they're not limited to this planet,
Yeah.
that there's a whole cosmos out there, and that we are all citizens of the universe. We aren't
Hmm.
just people who are stuck here on this crazy planet with all its troubles and its wars and hatreds and misunderstandings and lack of truth, beauty, and goodness. We can, anytime things seem to be overwhelming us, we can
Yeah.
just think about how we belong to the cosmos,
Hmm.
God's family, which stretches beyond imagination, beyond infinity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beyond the limitations of this material world, which is really important. And once you see, you break those boundaries, I agree with you, and you see that, the long way of eternity, and that's what eternity is. It's a. I always teach about the Mayans, and the way they view time and eternity, and this is just, I see a cycle. Getting to God is the first part, and once we attain that, then we're gonna have another assignment, another eternal adventure, and that's the point about eternity. It's changing, it's evolving, it's becoming. But what you said about a potential to actual, which is very important, and maybe you can explain a little bit about what that concept is.
Yeah, I like what you said about we aren't limited by
Hmm.
what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, anyways, Rick, it's been a really great conversation. It's really put a lot of perspective in everything. So, any closing remarks, anything that you want to get share with our audience before we leave the show?
Um, I just want to encourage everyone to think about what really is going on in life, um, and that they don't have to worry about this being the only existence they will ever have. There's
Yeah,
so much more out there. Just explore, and the Urantia book is a great place to start that. And you will find the answers to just about every question you can imagine.
definitely, definitely.
Sorry.
And questions that you didn't even think about, you didn't even know existed.
Yeah,
Be right.
yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry, my voice is going.
No worries, Rex. Well, thanks for sharing all this with us, your life story, which is very interesting. I love to hear these different stories on the backgrounds of people. You know, some are very Christian. You know, some fundamentally Christian. Some are Catholic, like myself. Some are Jewish. And in your case, came from a mixed situation that really showed you, you know, presented God in a very sterile way, let's say, Jesus, where you didn't maybe grew up in I don't know, in their case, in a very traditional way, but, you know, through these rather social groups that you had, you know, discovered this part. And that's what I want to get across. You know, anybody can read this. It's not one thing or the other, and it did not change who we are. It did not change who Rick was, but it rather enhanced his experience with life, with God, with everybody. So, thanks for being here, Rick. Thanks you for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you like the content. And we'll be seeing you throughout the week and every week. And remember, this is the Divine Within, the invisible connection with God. Take care and carpe diem. On the Divine Within podcast, we share real conversations to help you find a personal connection with God. My goal is to support your faith, growth, and journey toward discovering the divine within yourself. Join us to deepen your faith and spiritual journey.